So you were an attendee at Get Lost Find Yourself the first year.
Yeah.
And you're an attendee here this year.
Yeah.
What has Get Lost Find Yourself meant to you?
What has Get Lost Find Yourself meant to me is it's tough to put into words, but it's like Critter said last night, or more Dr. John, about the community, the healing power of the community. And I look forward to coming here. I don't make friends easily, so these people are all really approachable, and just find that I have a lot of fun when I come here, where at home, you know, things aren't as easy. So I think that's the biggest thing for me when I come here, is I look forward to making new friends. It's more that than the riding. The riding's spectacular and the food's good and everything, but it's more about making friends and the social connections.
Awesome. How do you feel about this year versus last year?
Okay, this year is double the size, and I honestly, going in, I was a bit nervous, like anxious before I left the house. It's the big group, but it's more of the same. It's more great people. I've met more people, and there's more folks from further away, like further afield. A lot more people from Oregon and Washington this year, which is great. So yeah, I don't know how much he wants to grow it, but I think the more the merrier for me. It's great.
How has helping be a part of this community and supporting men's mental health, like what is it personally to you?
I've struggled with mental health pretty much my whole life. I don't vocalize it. I don't want to share my story. I just kind of stick it down there. But I feel these, when I hear Critter's story or Ian's story, my brother talking about his challenges, it really rings with me, and because of that, I want to come and help. You know, that's pretty much it.
All right, so you were an attendee last year at Get Lost Find Yourself.
I was, yeah.
And you're an attendee this year at Get Lost Find Yourself.
I am.
What does Get Lost Find Yourself mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It means a lot because I've personally gone through some things in my life. And I have friends and colleagues that go through a lot as well. We work in a high stress environment, and a lot of times men have an inability to express themselves and talk about what they're going through. I think there's a stigmatism that you have to suck it up and you got to be a man and all that stuff. And I think bringing awareness to the fact that we don't have to do that we can talk about it and still be men is extremely important, especially when you look at the numbers and the statistics about male suicides. So I think it's really important.
What does it bring to you personally?
Well, I mean, I like the ADV rallies just because of the camaraderie and the relationship building. I believe that in life we're meant for relationships. This particular event, it means a lot to me because it kind of speaks to my heart. And it motivates me to want to bring awareness to other people. And I think that when we come to these events and we bring awareness to it, I think the natural reaction is to talk about it with other people, and hopefully that conversation starts something important where maybe somebody wasn't willing to talk about what they're going through, but then they do. So I think that it kind of comes full circle.
How do you feel about this year versus last year? Are there differences? Are there?
No, I think it's more polished. I think Kris has done a really good job of putting together the event, and I think that's the right way to do it. I don't think you go from 50 to 500. I think going from 50 to 100 was perfect, and I think that you get to meet new people. I think it's great that the last year was 50 people. It was perfect. This year there's 100 people. I think that's a perfect rate of growth.
Yeah.
I like it because I get to meet some people that I've been wanting to meet for a long time, people that I've been following on social media, and I think that new people that are coming in are seeing and hearing what Get Lost Find Yourself's all about, and I think that they'll take that information, they'll promote it on social media and that kind of thing, and the word will get out, and ultimately Heads Up Guys will get promoted, and the whole theme of what we're trying to accomplish continues to grow. So I think it's perfect.
All right, so you're a new attendee. This is your first year this year.
Right, yeah.
What does Get Lost Find Yourself mean to you so far?
It means community for me. I have a lot of customers that are attending here, and so I'm actually getting to put faces to names, which is wonderful. And so when Kris actually reached out a couple of years ago, I said, yeah, absolutely, we're definitely going to sponsor you. And it's our first event that we're sponsoring as well. So
wonderful. And what company are you?
Bush Pig Performance.
Performance. Okay, perfect. And have you felt like a personal note so far? Has Get Lost Find Yourself been relatable for men's mental health for you?
Yes. So actually, the reason I started writing was 7 years ago. My second cousin, who was about a month younger than me, we grew up together and ended up here in Canada together. Took his life. So that night when I found out, I sat down, I was devastated and sitting there thinking, well, life is fragile. And I looked back into what I had done in the past, and every trips that I had taken, I'd rented a moped, a scooter or something, and those ended up being the highlights. And so I thought, okay, why am I not riding in Canada? So a month later, I had a license, and the rest is history. Yeah.
So motorcycling is really close to your heart.
Very close.
For that, right?
Yeah.
And so what are your thoughts so far being at the event?
I love it. I've met so many people here.
Yeah.
And they're all kindred spirits. We all come from very different places, but, we are this crazy two-wheel tribe, right?
Yeah.
And I love it.
Perfect. All right, so this is your first year at Get Lost Find Yourself, new attendee. How are you feeling about the event so far?
It's been so fun. Seems like everyone here is super friendly. They have a story to share and tell, and they want to ride, which is kind of a refreshing motorcycle event. So many times you just sit in the field with a bunch of guys, but here it's about the riding, and it's about a good cause, which makes it even better.
So tell me a little bit about that. What does men's mental health mean to you, and has it impacted your life so far?
It's impacted almost every aspect of my life. My father took his own life, and yeah, that put me into a spiral on top of other things. So yeah, the second I heard about this event, I just had to be here, and hearing Critter's story last night hit me pretty hard, as I think it hit everybody. And yeah, it's I was saying to Kris, I was like, I was sure there was some kind of motivation behind all this, because there has to be, but was always afraid to ask. So to hear his story, it hit.
And how are you feeling about the community as a whole?
It's just awesome to know you're not alone in the battle that a lot of us are going through, and to have motorcycles as therapy is just kind of makes it all come together.
And how do you feel about like the fire pit night, the amount of people we have here? You feeling the vibe?
Yeah, it's such a great number of people. You can meet everybody, which is awesome, and that really gives the community vibe. And it's just so great to have that, because I've been to so many events where you just stick in the group of guys you showed up with, and that's really it. So to come meet riders from all over Canada and the US is pretty awesome, and I think made some friendships where I'll meet up with some of the other folks and ride with them in their homes.
What's been your favorite part? Absolute favorite, off the top of your head?
Critter's talk last night.
Yeah.
That it hit. It's why we're all here, and that's I don't know. You can't top that. So.
All right. So you were an attendee last year at Get Lost Find Yourself. You're an attendee this year at Get Lost Find Yourself. How do you feel about the 2 years so far?
Oh my gosh, this is, I don't know, one of my favorite events. I like how small it is. Like, it's 100 people. I feel like you can get to know people. Everybody's super inclusive, and it's really nice to be in an event where the making money is about serving a cause, and it's a cause that's near and dear to my heart. So
tell me a little bit more about that.
My day job is being a mental health counselor, so I really love getting to work with people. I love mental health, and I love the idea of we're not just focused on mental illness, we're not just focused on fixing problems, we're getting in there and preventing the problems by building communities and coming together to support mental health across the society.
Awesome. So with being an attendee 2 years now, how do you feel about the differences between the 2 years?
Let's see, the differences between the 2 years for this event. I feel like this year it grew a little bit, but not exponentially, which was really nice. I feel like in that way it gets to serve more people. There's more structure this year, which is kind of fun. I really liked the homegrown organic feel last year, and this year it's like, okay, yeah, we've done this before.
Turned a little cleaner, a little more polished, a little more organized. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, this is actually a really long, it feels like a long way if you're just riding your motorcycle for a weekend. And so I feel like I got to attend almost a shorter time last year. This time has been a little bit longer, and I got to see more of the island.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, if you can get up here and just like spend all 3 days, I love the fact that we totally unplugged. There's no cell service at this campground, and there is unlimited riding, and it's unreal. It's so beautiful.
Yesterday you told me something that was really catching. It was really neat because you work in mental health and you're usually working with women, and now you're in a situation where you're seeing men build their community and working with mental health. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you perceive, feel, all of that?
Yeah, it's really been interesting because at least in the motorcycle community, I'm in the minority. And so I do a lot of work with women riders. We work on building confidence, work on anxiety, we work on all those things with beginning skills. And it's really been fun to be in this men's mental health community where typically men are in the minority of like reaching out for help with mental health. And one of the special things that came out of this event last year was a Facebook group where people could give and get support. And it's like this lovely inverse reality for me where I get to see men come forward and say like what's going on in their lives and what's on their mind, and then reach out in such healthy, beautiful, appropriate ways that I feel like that is what our society really needs more of. It's the most beautiful thing, and I get to be sort of the outsider watching people support each other instead of on the inside offering support.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what's been your absolute most favorite part between the 2 years so far?
My favorite part. I'm really bad at favorites. Let's see. My favorite parts, I can do that.
Multiple, okay. All right, all right.
I think my favorite parts is, I guess my favorite part this year really has been some of the people that I've met. I think last year I met some people, well, I met you,
Yeah.
which was awesome. I got to meet a few people, but this year I just felt like I've talked to more people and met more people, and then the stories that have come out, especially last year, you know, or this year rather, what I really loved was they had the person who heads up guys here, and then afterwards the stories that came out about like why people started riding motorcycles, why they are passionate about this event, and getting to hear all of that was probably my favorite part of this year.
Yeah.